Welcome back to the latest episode of the Key and Mang audio experience. I'm your host, Mang, as always, with my fellow co-host, Key. Key, what's goody?
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Lovely. It's a great day.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Um, who's your squad? Who's your NBA squad?
I don't have a squad. I haven't had a squad since Kobe and Kevin Garnett. I really like the Celtics and the Lakers just for
Oh,
those two players.
yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, you wouldn't be like if someone in LA heard you or someone in Boston heard you, they would not be happy with that answer.
No, I know. But no, I don't have a team at all. What about you?
I'm a Nuggets fan.
Forgot about that. I have a Nuggets jersey, mellow jersey.
Yeah. Is it the light blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, those were the best jerseys.
I
And
have the shoes to match.
Allen Iverson was my favorite player, and
Yes.
when he got traded there, and they had the powder blue jerseys with the yellow headbands, and I was like, yeah, that's it. That's my squad.
Fire.
So that's why.
I mean, I guess I should have just stuck with one of the teams I liked, but I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm kind
no,
of over the NBA, but I think it's interesting what's happening.
agreed, agreed. And if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, sorry, you might not like this episode. Um, it's been a let's say eventful last 6 weeks for the Mavs. They trade away Luka Doncic, who just led them to the finals. They got ravaged by injuries to their centers and a lot of their bigs. Um, Anthony Davis got hurt. Now Kyrie is out with a torn ACL. It's been bad. It's been bad for the Mavs. There's a lot of uncertainty about their present and their future and what's going to happen. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the last month and a half for the Dallas Mavericks and what kind of has unfolded.
So why did the Mavericks trade Luka? What's that about?
Apparently, the ownership, well, okay, first of all, just for some context, the Mavs went to the finals last year with Luka Doncic and Kyrie, and they lost to Boston. Boston was a better team. They are stacked at every position you need to be stacked at, and they were outmatched. But you're coming thinking, all right, we just made it to the finals. We're gonna get better. We're gonna retool, and we'll be back there again soon because it's our window. We got a 25-year-old global superstar, then we're gonna rock with him. But apparently, like they didn't like the new ownership. So Mark Cuban sold the Dallas Mavericks to this new ownership group. That should have been red flag number one because Mark Cuban, well known for like he loves the Mavs, he loves basketball. Why would he sell the team? And he's talking about like some like new he wasn't familiar with the way the NBA was changing, so he wanted to get out. But that should have been red flag number one. But I guess the new ownership group was not happy with how Luka was preparing, how he was conditioning, how he was in shape. They didn't like some of the people that he had brought on to his team to help him with like recovery and nutrition and things like that. So they went ahead and started like firing some of his people that he brought onto the team that worked with Luka. And they just were trying to get him to dial in more in the conditioning. He gets hurt in November, and they want him to ramp up slowly and like ramp up his conditioning. He doesn't do it. And so they get mad. And then he gets hurt again at Christmas, calf strain. So he's out for like 2 months. And I guess the Mavs GM, he really likes AD. They used to work together at Nike, and he wanted AD on the Mavs. And so he initiated a call to the Lakers and was like, do you want Luka? And Rob was like, yes, yes, I do want Luca. And they came into a trade agreement of Luca for AD basically. And they got back like who'd they get back? They got Max Christie and a one first round pick. And my first issue with that is that you just traded a 25-year-old for a 31-year-old, one who's injured a lot of the time, but last 2 years he's been relatively healthy. AD has been great, but for the course of his career, he's usually hurt. Two, you trade a guy who if you're going to trade a guy like that, you need to deplete the roster. You need to get picks now. You need to get picks in the future. You need to get players now, picks in the future. To get one first round pick back and to get two players for someone like Luka Doncic who just led you to the finals is bad management. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's like, bro, if that's what we're doing, then I could be an NBA GM. But I would know not to make that trade. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was
so
surprised.
I just think it was just you can't, and then to not have a succession plan of like, Kyrie's there. He's older. He has an injury history. How do you not give him another ball handler to offload some of the responsibilities up from him? Like you should have got Austin Reeves. You should have got Rui. You should have had the whole team. The whole Lakers team should have been on the Dallas Mavericks. And then they have their choice of where they want to send them before you think about trading Luka because he does so much offensively. He offloads for Kyrie, and now Kyrie had to take on an increased workload. And unfortunately, he went down with the ACL tear, but it was just not a good decision. I think if you were really not happy with Luca, I think you have an obligation as an organization when you have a top three, top five guy, and there's levels that they can improve on. You have to find a way to make it work because they don't just grow on trees. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to figure if you want him to improve his conditioning, you have to show him why it's important. You have to show him why he has to invest in it. You have to figure it out. Like you can't just oh, I'm tired of his attitude. I'm tired of him not being in shape. So we're just gonna trade him, and we don't want to pay the super. We don't pay him the super max, which is also crazy. Like I said, you don't see get players like this, a global superstar. So I think you pay them whatever. You pay them whatever because you ain't gonna find another Luka anytime soon. So I think it was just a crazy trade, and I don't. I agree with the decision making. I feel for Dallas Mavericks fans because they're suddenly went from title hopes to we don't know what the next 2 years are going to look like.
Didn't they put out something that because I know the fans were unhappy, but didn't they put out something for like season ticket holders? Like they were refunding
No,
them their money?
they're increasing by 8%.
No, but the people who bought the season tickets and expecting to see Luca, like, wasn't that a big deal?
I don't know if that was the case. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't see that.
Like, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? Because if I was a season ticket holder and I'm looking to see Luca and obviously Kyrie, but now Luca's not there, like what does that look like?
I don't
You
know if
just
you
take the
can.
loss.
I don't know if you can refund your tickets like that. I think you try to sell. You try to sell them. You can sell like the tickets that you have to people who want to go, but the
And also
value of
my
them
my
is also down.
yeah, exactly. My thought process behind it all is I think Luca is obviously a generational talent, but whether he's in shape the way you want him to be, or like he's just doing the bare minimum, he's like still performing. He's still performing at that level. So I'm like yes, that can make you unhappy, but I feel like there should have been more effort to like keep him. But we don't know, but I feel like there should have been more effort to keep him. And like you said, try to get him to buy in some way. And Luca reminds me of not their game, but the being out of shape and just being talented. He reminds me of James Harden. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like James Harden could be in better shape and he still performs.
Mm-hmm.
He's just good. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you don't see that often.
I agree. I agree 100%. Very, very
I probably
similar.
would be pissed off as a coach too, though,
Say that
or
again?
as an owner. I probably would be pissed off as an owner too, but I would realize like, what else are we gonna get?
Yeah.
So I would like to be like a fly on the wall in these like conversations because I feel like there's probably things that they're not sharing.
Oh, for sure. There has to be. I mean, but there's no way. Like, if it was the case where the Mavs weren't getting to the playoffs or they were struggling every year, if they were like Charlotte and just perpetually bad every single year, even though they got LaMelo, yeah, I get it. I get why you think about it. But you just came off the finals. The year before they were I mean, 2 years ago they were in the Western Conference Finals. They had a what the year last year they were like injured, but. a finals run, a Western Conference finals run in 3 years is pretty good. And I'm just like, I'm expecting we're gonna get over the hump here in the next couple. We have to if we're this close already. And my dude's not even in shape, supposedly. And we're still getting there. So I don't know. I think they were a little impatient. I guess the money of trying to pay him the supermax was daunting because of the tax hit they were gonna get if they paid him that. But to me, you pay it. You're already a billionaire, so like I know it's a lot of money, but like Luka being there improves is better for business. Plain and simple.
Yeah, you're gonna make more money.
Hmm.
What do you think when they say that a player is not conditioned? What do you think they're talking about?
I don't know if
Like
it has
what
to,
metric?
I don't know if it has to do with like effort. I don't know how you would track that unless you're looking at like GPS data of like how far they're traveling on the court, how many miles they're producing on the court and what they're maybe it's like you have the sensors on, so it's like heart rate zones or they're just trying to see where he's at or something. Like I don't know what they're tracking, or it could also be the like I know when you're returning back from injury, they have certain like thresholds that they want you to hit as your baselines, and maybe he wasn't hitting those, and he was just like, I'm just gonna go hoop or something. Like I don't know. I mean, if you look at the Mavs owner now, I wouldn't call him in shape either. So, I think it's kind of crazy for him to be talking about that when he could do a little better to be taking care of himself. But that's a point for another day. But I don't know. I don't know.
And also something else I was thinking about, and you probably know more about this, is was Luka happy at the Mavericks?
Yes, he just bought a house.
So
He just bought a house. Like 2 weeks before the trade, he just bought a new house.
I don't know. So like at that point, because I was before we were recording this, I was looking into the trade stuff, and they had suggested that Luka was unhappy with the Mavericks' long-term vision and wasn't like completely bought in. That was the words they used.
Hmm.
But if he bought a house 2 weeks before, that's pretty much like saying like, hey, like this
Yeah.
is home type of thing.
I mean, I think he was mad that they were firing all his guys, like, and not letting them. They were trying to bring in Mavs guys and not the guys like his massage therapists, his like people that work on him. So I think he was upset about that, but I don't think he was like, I want out. He didn't say I want out.
And then now with Luka playing with LeBron, what do you think about that?
I mean, if you watch, like he's trying on defense. Like he'll slide his
Yeah.
feet. He'll keep people. He'll do his best to keep people in front. I'm just like, yeah, I think it's just a new fire that's been lit under him because he's like, I did not want to leave Dallas, but since you thought I wasn't worth it, I'm gonna show y'all what happens. And the Lakers look nice. LeBron and Luka is a crazy combination because now
It is.
LeBron don't have to handle the ball as much anymore, so he got energy now. Now he's sprinting. Now he playing defense. And I'm like, yeah, this is scary to have two guys who can run an offense by themselves. And now LeBron at 40 looks like he's 25 again.
It's crazy how much like adding a player like that just takes the load off of LeBron.
Hmm.
How many more shots at a ring do you think LeBron has now with Luka?
I thought he was gonna retire after next year. I
Even with
thought
Luka?
I no before Luka. Because I thought
Not
that the All-Star games in LA next year, he'll have his send off, and then he got his son into the league. That's his like right into the sunset. But now, I mean, I could see 3 more years, two more
what I'm
years,
saying.
2 more years easy. Three
And
more years.
everybody's talking about rings.
Yeah.
Rings make you the greatest of all time. So I'm like, why not go for it?
Why not? Why not indeed? Yeah, so can you talk about the like from the Kyrie aspect of things? Like what like what you've noticed, what you think about like the injury side of things for Kyrie?
I think with Kyrie, I feel like I don't know if this is Kyrie's personality that played a role in this, but he was playing what they said like 34 minutes before the Luka trade, and then after the Luka trade, it went up to like 40 minutes, right? But I don't really see them doing any load management like other players, right? So what were you gonna say? Oh, so I don't see them doing any load management like they do with other players, and I don't know if that's the like management pushing him to play that many minutes because Luka left, or it's because he wants to play that. So my thought process is you can't say like, hey, he was playing all these minutes and that's what contributed to the ACL tear. But I also think at some point there has to be, I think this is why it's hard to work in the NBA. There has to be some objective person there that's like managing players because things like this happen and they're putting a ton of miles on their body every season. And as they get older, things like this are going to happen more often if it's not controlled. But I do think it's hard to manage personalities. So my thoughts are, is it the team not doing their job in managing this, or is it like the player pushing, like saying like, hey, I want to play? And I think it's unfortunate because we can't really say like this is the reason why he tore his ACL, but I do think there should have been more steps taken to make sure like he's not like increasing the amount of miles he's putting on his body, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think he wanted to, obviously they all want to play. They want to play. So
All right.
if you understand that, all right, my AD's gone, Derek Lively's gone, Daniel Gafford's gone, Luka's gone. Kyrie's an alpha on the basketball court. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna show y'all that I can take this team to the playoffs. I'll do whatever it takes. So that's just the love of the game that he has for it. And so the increase from 34 to 39, 40 minutes might not seem like a lot, but over the course of a 10 game, like 10 games where you're going to different cities, you're not sleeping in your own bed, you're on the road a lot, you might not be as recovered, and you know that every team's best player is coming after you and they're trying to throw you off balance. They're bigger, they're bumping you, they're throwing you off balance, and it's a lot mentally, it's a lot physically, a lot of physical load, a lot of mental load, and I think that all plays a part. And you could have all the checks and balances as a staff in the world, but the player is going to override it. You could tell the
Mhm.
coach, all right, Kyrie should play X amount of minutes because he's already logged this amount of distance over the course of the
I don't
season.
want to hear
And
that.
the coaches ain't go. The coaches are trying to win games, and the players want to win. So I think it's a tough place to be at as a staff member on these teams because it's like you show the data, but then you're also like unfortunately you don't want anyone to go down, but you can't be definitive that if he only played 32 minutes that this wouldn't have happened either. So it's like it's a catch 22 here of what do we do?
So how do you think teams should go about managing it? Like, I think honestly, what would be the better solution than having people sit out to control their minutes is to like make the season shorter.
Yeah.
I think that would be better, and I think fans would be happier too that way because you do have players that are sitting out for silly injuries like hamstring tightness. But if you shorten the season, they probably wouldn't do that. And then fans would be happy because now you're paying to see a game, and now the player isn't playing, and you didn't know that until you got there.
Yep.
So I think it'll make everybody happy on both sides.
I agree. I think if you start the season in like December, Christmas Day, start the season Christmas Day, and then you go till June. So then you work in half the year, you got 6 months off. If you're on the Olympic team, you can do your Olympic duties. So if you go from December to August, then you still got September, October, November, December to rest, ramp up, and get ready for training camp. I think that's the solution. You'll get higher outputs from players. You'll get higher, you'll get a better product because they're more rested. They're coming in fresh. They're not playing pounding basketball mileage into their legs and into their minds. I think that's the solution. But if you do that, then you lose a lot of revenue over the course of missing October, November, December, 3 months of the
Yeah.
season, essentially.
Also, viewership is down anyways, so I think that'll increase your viewership numbers.
I agree. Plus you're competing with the NFL in October, November, December.
Exactly.
Like, let the NFL playoffs will go into January, Super Bowls in February, and then it's all NBA from February to June. And then you let football start back up in August, and then you're kind of just waiting for the when the next season starts.
I watch more NFL games this year than NBA, and
Yeah.
I don't even know football.
Yeah. Because they
I
matter.
just can't stand it. I
They
can't stand the
matter.
way like it's just so it low key feels like the best way I could describe how watching the NBA feels to me now is like when I was in elementary school and all the boys would like go crazy about WWE and I'm like, yo, that shit is fake. Like so it's like entertain. It's not real wrestling. And now that's how I feel about NBA. Like this is not real basketball.
hmm
So I think something needs to be done just for obviously players' health, but also making the NBA a better product and satisfying fans. Because at the end of the day, that's where the lot of the money is going to come from.
Yep. And that's what the NFL has figured out really well. It's like you make it a experience for the people watching. Even if you don't know football, if you like Taylor Swift, you pulling up to Kansas City games because you know who Taylor Swift is. And she's dating Travis. So I think the NFL just gets it in terms of making a good experience for their viewers. They know that offense is what wins. Offense is what helps ratings. The quarterbacks need to be healthy. So I think the NBA should take a look at the NFL schedule, and every game matters. It's 19 games, but it all matters. One game a week.
Mhm.
The players are rested. They have a whole week to recover, even though I think now that they have been playing on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays is stupid. But they're trying to be year round. But back to the Mavs, I think they messed up. I don't think like Kyrie's gonna be out till Christmas at the earliest. At the earliest. And he's not gonna feel like himself for another yeah, probably 2 years. By then, he'll be
Mhm.
35 years old. And Kyrie's not big. He's not the biggest. He's very skilled, very crafty. And it's like the window is closing because AD is going to come back. We don't know how many games we're going to get out of AD. They have the pieces, though. Like, if you would have said, if they would have all been healthy, the Mavs could have made a run for sure, for sure. But now
Yeah.
they have none of their own draft picks coming up for the next 3 years, 4 years. Like the Mavs are just in trouble.
I don't know. Like last thing I'm gonna say about it is I just think it feels like an impulse decision.
Yeah, a bad one.
Yeah. Like I don't think I know of a worse trade, but
This is it.
maybe it'll benefit them in the future.
This is it. This is it. This is it. It's like anybody would know. You could look at any metric you want, and you're like, Luka produces like this. You do not get rid of that guy. Like everyone knows this.
I don't know. I wish I was getting paid to make those type of dumb decisions.
Yeah, yeah. Look, and I get it. It's just a game. It's his job. But Nico Harrison, the death threats and stuff is unfortunate. But now he got to live with that for the rest of his life, pretty much. And he might not
Mhm.
get another opportunity if the Mavs decide to go a different direction, he might not get another opportunity to be a GM again or be in this kind of position. So
Absolutely
I,
not.
I hope for his sake it works out. But right now it ain't looking good.
Nope.
But y'all
Let
let
us
us know.
know.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna say we was both on the same track. Y'all let us know what you guys think about the Luka trade, the impact on the Mavs. Would y'all have done it? Well, what would you got? What would you want back in return? If you're following on YouTube, watching this on YouTube, hit us with the like and subscribe. If you're on the pod, leave us a review, leave us 5 stars. We really appreciate it. Until next time, peace.